Eric sat in the wooden chair, shaking. Mr. Perez sat across from him once more with his hands clamped together. "You don't seem to understand the situation. Do you need clarification?" Mr. Perez said. "Yes," Eric said in a low voice. "Then that depends on how you answer these questions," Mr. Perez said as he leaned forward. "How did you get into that room?" Mr. Perez continued. "The door was just open. I heard screams," Eric said. "Bullshit. That door has never been left open," Mr. Perez said. "I'm telling the truth. One of your guards might have left it open," Eric said. "Do you want to go into that cell next? Because I'm more than willing to send you there if you're not honest with me," Mr. Perez said. "What is she? She's not human," Eric said. "We're not talking about that right now. You need to tell me what you know," Mr. Perez said. "And what if I can't? What if I'm unable to tell you what you want to hear?" Eric said in spite. "Then there's no point in continuing this conversation," Mr. Perez said. "Well, what if I helped you?" Eric said. "What do you mean?" Mr. Perez said. "She was the person my notes were for, wasn't she? I know my design well," Eric said. "Are you saying you want to continue your work?" Mr. Perez said. "If you'll let me. No use in wasting a person's work," Eric said nervously. Mr. Perez paused as these words set in. He looked over Eric's shoulder in deep concentration. Eric never picked up what he was thinking about, but something told him he didn't want to find out. "All right, you work for me then," Mr. Perez said. "What does that mean for me?" Eric asked. "It means you live your usual life, but must come in every day to assist the facility. If you fail at any point, it will be a permanent termination," Mr. Perez said. Eric choked up. "That's fine. What would you pay me? I still need to provide for my son," Eric said. "30,000, Mr. Perez said. Eric was perplexed by his response. "That's unlivable," Eric retorted. "A month," Mr. Perez said.